It's time for Inside the NBA, presented by Kia from Studio J in Atlanta, where I've got 12:46 a.m. on the East Coast.
Kenny, 1 o'clock. Let's walk out.
Okay, there you go.
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. I'm setting my alarm.
We may not have been done with the Minnesota-Denver highlight by then.
We could actually show the highlights real quick, talk real fast, get the hell out of here.
I've been around you long enough. That never happens, Chuckster. And so here we go.
That kid is special, but that dude real special.
All Denver early on in this one.
Too good.
The Joker.
And how you catch that ball with one hand and shoot?
Oh, and this guy was unbelievable.
He was.
Jamal Murray, first
he is officially
postseason
back
since the bubble. Yes.
Jeff Green.
Uncle Jeff.
Yes, indeed.
26-17 at that point. Joker.
Feet work.
So what's working on Rudy?
Feet work.
That's Roberta Flack said, just killing him soft.
And look at this.
Cash.
A second on the shot clock on that inbounds play, and Joker wide open buries it.
Well, big men don't know how to pay pin down, so they know that he wasn't coming out.
Jamal with the floater.
Now you got to stay home, so Rudy's not in the paint. Easy floater.
64-49 your halftime score, and then it all broke loose because Minnesota shot 81% in the third quarter.
That's amazing.
And outscored them 40-23. They hit 17 out of 21 shots.
I'll tell you what, man.
That's right.
Competing. Anthony Edwards, man, you are going to be special, young man.
He had a 14-0 run. It was extended to 26-10. Karl Anthony Towns buries the corner three, and they took the lead away from Denver. And then Anthony Edwards. And now they're up by 3.
And
Jamal Murray.
Ooh, stop and pop, as they say.
En route to a 40-point night.
Look at that shot right there.
Which was one fewer than Anthony Edwards, who had 41 on the night. And they had an 89-87 lead going to the fourth.
He gave him a nice lift tonight.
Yes, he did. Hit some tough shots down the stretch as well.
First of all, I don't even know why he got mad on this play. That was a foul, easily.
Gets teed up. Kyle Anderson, his buddy.
Hey, be careful.
Calming
He
him
punched you
down.
last week.
That's last week.
Ooh, look at that shot right
Anthony Edwards again. They've got the lead by 1. Michael Porter. Michael Porter had taken one shot through 3 quarters.
Well, he played well today. He gave him a nice little lift.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter.
This dude right here was just, whew.
What's he going to do now? He's going to do
No,
this.
don't step back on him.
Ooh. I'm not sure how you guard Jamal Murray.
Well, you can't guard him like that. When the big man drop it down to the damn paint.
I know that's not an option.
Okay.
122-113 is your final as Jamal Murray goes for 40. Nuggets up 2-0 over Minnesota. And here is head coach Michael Malone.
He left a piece of him out there tonight. You know, he was just, for 39 minutes, I thought he was just so impactful across the board. Passionate, heartfelt performance. And just the fact that he missed the last 2 postseasons, you know, just to have him back and to play at that level and give them credit, man. We knew at some point we'd see the aggressive attacking Timberwolves. In that third quarter, we saw it. And they played great, and we didn't defend in that third quarter. But I was proud of how we responded in that fourth quarter. So I thought Jamal overall was terrific. Michael Porter Jr. was key. Like, let's give Michael a lot of love. He deserves it. He made some big plays, shooting the ball, driving the ball, finishing, getting to the foul line. I was really impressed with Michael's performance tonight. And, you know, we've played 8 quarters so far. 7 have been great. Now, we had one bad quarter, but we responded and we found a way to get the win. And, you know, 2-0 it's a good start to this series. We have much work to do.
Michael Malone had said before the game, is that when you lose by 29, we all know what's coming. It just took 24 minutes for Minnesota to kind of get to that point where they made this a game, and they did in the third quarter. But to me, Shaq, it's like a lot of times a team will get a wake-up call, but it's in a loss. Denver won the game, still got a wake-up call that, hey, this is not as easy as it might appear.
Yeah, when you get up big, sometimes you get lackadaisical. They know they're going to beat this team. Look, you got 4 starters in double figures, 67 points from the 1-2 punch, and everybody played well. I agree with Coach Michael Porter. Played a great game. He looked like a baby Klay Thompson out there, time shooting the ball. But sometimes you have laps in the game, but it's all about how you responded. They responded like I think a championship team should have responded, and they played well. And when you got one of your 1-2 punches going off like Jamal Murray, definitely going to be hard to beat. Minnesota had chances to win. They competed in the second half. They got to learn to put 2 halves together. Still going to need more from Karl Anthony Towns. Edwards played a great game for a youngster, 41 points. Played excellent ball, but somebody else going to have to give him the lift, and I think that's Karl Anthony Towns. 3 out of 12 is not acceptable. Rudy Gobert played pretty good, but Karl Anthony Towns definitely going to have to step up if they want a chance. And they have to compete in 2 halves, not just 1 half.
That the big fella just covered a lot of ground right there. What can you add to that wrap-up of what we just saw, Chuckster?
Well, Denver did what they had to do. They had some big lead. It's hard to play with a big lead sometimes. People say you want to play at the same intensity level. When you got a big lead and you're coming off a 30-point win, it's hard to keep it up. But to piggyback on Shaq's point, if you're the second best player on the team, you got to play like it. Karl Anthony Towns has more turnovers than made baskets. That's not going to get it done 3 for 12. Rudy Gobert is not known as a scorer. Actually had 19 tonight. But it's really going to come down because Karl Anthony Towns should actually have an advantage, size-wise. But see, he's ruined this game, in my opinion, by just becoming a 3-point shooter. If you're as big as he is, you're going to have a size, height advantage every single night. But if you're going to stand out on the perimeter, 2 things: you don't get to the foul line, and you don't use your height. So it's useless height. So, and that's what bothers me about his game. I'm like, he's one of the few guys in the NBA who's going to have a height advantage every single night. There's no player he's going to play against where he's going to have a height disadvantage. But because he's become a perimeter player, he don't punish them when they go small, and he just stand out there and shoot jumpers.
Meantime, we were just treated to a display by Anthony Edwards and Jamal Murray in this thing.
Yes, we were. If you're Minnesota, you say, well, how did we get success? And, as Charles, one of the points was what I was going to say was Charles, but first of all, they drove the basketball. Anthony Edwards, his ability to not stay perimeter and drive the basketball, I think is his biggest attribute. Not the 3-point shooting, even though I think he broke a record for the amount of time being in the league, hitting a certain amount of threes. His asset is driving the basketball and changing it up. Secondly, they had success in the pick and roll, even with Mike Conley. So they threw the lob to Rudy Gobert, he dove to the basket and got it. The last thing they did not have success or did not do is what Charles said. Karl Anthony Towns did not post up. And his inability to post up the basketball doesn't create sustainability when you have runs. You can't sustain the run because you can't get an easy basket. And so that's it. And on the other side, defensively, Minnesota have to give up this drop coverage where they pick and roll and they just say, we're going to have Rudy Gobert sit in the paint and we're going to let Jamal Murray shoot, college threes. That is not a recipe for winning basketball. So it's 2 areas, post-ups and pick and roll basketball. If they improve those areas, they can win in Minnesota.
We'll see if they can do that beginning on Friday with Game 3 in Minnesota. But tonight, 122-113, Denver with the win over Minnesota.
That's right.
That is a fat cat.
That cat's driving fast.
That cat Charles Barkley.
When we come back, Game 2 in Memphis, the Lakers and the Grizzlies